Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alicia Armendariz, and today we're going to be talking about the 7 worst things about Colorado Springs. If you have any questions of anything I'm going to talk about in this list, go ahead and reach out to me. I am a licensed broker in the state of Colorado and here in Colorado Springs. And if you just have any questions in general about the home buying process or selling process, reach out to me and let's get into it. Okay, so in no particular order, these are the gripes that you're going to hear a lot of the natives and locals talk about. Some of these things may affect you, some of them may not. Not everything on this list affects me. I've kind of learned to ignore it, or I just don't care. Some definitely do get on my nerves and kind of a bummer. But to begin, since I am a realtor, I'm going to say the number one thing on this list is home prices are on the rise. Right now, Colorado Springs has like an average home sale price of $436,000. And that is increasing every month. It has been the last 5 years. We're just having a lot of growth from out of state, from other towns. And so if you are gonna be looking to buy here, look to spend on, like I said, on average, the home sale price is $436,000. Obviously, there are some neighborhoods still that you could find something single family for $300,000, $350,000. We definitely have neighborhoods here that are $1 million and more. So it just kind of depends, independent situation. Then next, I'm gonna say Colorado Springs lacks fashion and kind of has a cultural blandness. People do like to go out here. They like to dress up. It's just not as dressy as other cities that I've been to, like LA, Dallas, Miami. No, like you do not see men and women dressed to the nines like you will in some of those other cities. We do have some fancy upscale steakhouses, like 3 or 4 nightclubs, if you want to call them nightclubs, bars, nightclubs, where people do dress up, but it's not going to be the flashiness that, like I said, you see in those bigger cities. So that could not affect you. There are a lot of people here that are just good with a basic blouse, their flannel. Flannel's really big here. For me, it's I don't care. I've actually lived out of state a couple times. I lived in Vegas personally. I lived in Puerto Rico, where like that was a thing. Like you went to brunch, you were dressing up. You went to lunch, you went to dinner, you went to the club. Like you were dolled up. Men also. Like shoes were shined, nice collared shirts, jewelry, everything. So that's just something, like if that is your thing, you're not really gonna find a need for it here in Colorado Springs. We just don't have a lot of occasions or places to go where you're gonna need to be that dressed up. We don't really have any high-end stores to even shop at. So something to consider. Third on this list, I'm going to say is if you don't have a car, good luck. Our public transportation here, it sucks. We do have a bus system. That's kind of about it. It does get you around town, but that's it. Like, if you don't have a car, you are gonna have a hard time getting around here in Colorado Springs. The city is very spread out. The neighborhoods are spread out. Gas stations, grocery stores, just things to do. I mean, you can bike. We're really big into being active. So a lot of people do bike here. But if biking's not your thing and you don't wanna bike several miles just to get to the grocery store, you're definitely gonna need a car. If you don't have a car, you're going to have a hard time getting around Colorado Springs. And then to follow up with that, next on our list is, even if you have a car, our roads, they do kind of suck. They're awful. They have so many potholes and there's always construction. There's just been so much growth coming into the city that they're always trying to accommodate with that growth and expand lanes and intersections. And it's just always a mess. I mean, eventually the projects do get done, but as soon as one construction project is done, another one has started. And so I just feel like the city is always in a constant state of construction and detours and, you know, down to one lane. So that's just something to expect And the next thing, like I said, this could be a pro or con, may affect you, may not, is Colorado Springs has a very heavy military and religious influence. We do have 5 military bases here, and we have Focus on the Family, which is a very large conservative Christian organization. Their headquarters is here in Colorado Springs. And so whether you're religious or not, or a fan of the military or not, totally your opinion, your thoughts, but they do have a influence here. Me, myself, I don't really notice it, but I think that's just because I've been in Colorado my whole life, so it doesn't really affect me. But if you're not used to it when you first get here as an outsider, it definitely seems like it's always in your face. That's kind of the opinion and thoughts that I've heard from out-of-staters when they first move here. Like I said, I'm actually a fan of the military. I don't hoorah every time I see a military personnel, but like I said, it just, whatever your beliefs are, it may be in your face, it may not, but they are here and they do have a big presence and they do have a hand in a lot of our government and businesses here in town. So that's just something to be aware of. Another thing that doesn't affect me personally, but I know a lot of people were bummed out by it, was the marijuana usage. Here in Colorado, yes, marijuana is legal, but in the city of Colorado Springs, marijuana use is only used for medical. If you want to buy it for recreational use, you need to go outside the city limits, probably Manitou Springs, which is, I don't know, just on the west side, 15-20 minutes outside of city limits. That's probably going to be the closest place for you to purchase marijuana. Edibles, smokables, whatever. Like I said, that's not my thing, but it is used only for medical use. So like I said, that could affect you or not, but that is just something to be aware of. People were very surprised that the city did not pass it for recreational use. And last on this list, but certainly not least, which it does affect me even as a native, and you would think it wouldn't, but Colorado Springs does experience some extreme weather. We have extreme weather changes in temperature from one day to the next. It could be 90 degrees, and then by, within 24 hours, it dropped down to 40. And then vice versa. One morning you wake up and it's 30, 32. By that afternoon, it could be close to like 60, 65. So we do have some really crazy temperature swings. We also, with the barometric pressure dropping and rising so quickly, that actually can give me migraines. Does not everybody. And also with that crazy weather that we get a lot of wildfires. You'd be surprised. It's very dry at the same time. And so we get a lot of wildfires. And about 5 years ago, I think we had one of our worst ones that came down like Cheyenne Mountain and ate up a lot of really high-end homes, kind of like in the Flying Horse area. So it's not uncommon. That was probably one of our biggest fires, but we do get a lot of wildfires here. And when we're not having wildfires or crazy weather, rain, snow, blinding sun, hail, we have really bad hail, big hail. And so if you are looking to rent or buy, that you have some type of coverage, because your car's going to get hail damage otherwise, and your roof, you're going to have to probably check out your roof every 3 to 5 years to check the hail damage. Some of these things may not affect you, may bum you out, may not, but I'm going to say on average, those are the 7 worst things about Colorado Springs that you're going to have to deal with, and maybe not an issue. So if you don't like crazy weather, if you don't like super conservative, if you, are just from one of those cities like San Francisco or New York where you've always been without a car, Colorado Springs may not be the best place for you, but otherwise I could go on about the hundreds of things that make this city great. So if you guys have any questions about anything that I mentioned on this list, or like I said earlier, about the home buying or selling process, or just questions about the city in general, let me know. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time.